Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Tornado Talks. This episode I'll be talking about my thoughts on how a Kirby movie should go. I will be going over how I think they should run the movie, what company should do it, and what I feel like who should be in charge of it. But anyways, let's get started. Okay, before I get to the main part of the video, I want to clarify why I'm doing this video. As you all have heard, or some of you haven't, there is a leak going around about future Nintendo movies. I don't know if the leak is true or not, so take it a grain of salt. But one of them was mentioned to be a Kirby movie. And one, we all know how big of a Kirby fan I am. So of course I'd like to talk about this. But I mainly want to get out this very quickly. If they are doing a Kirby movie, they better play it very carefully. Because Kirby is a very near and dear series to all of our hearts. And I hope they actually do well with Kirby, because there's many ways they can mess this up, but there's many ways they can, make this a genuinely really good film. But anyways, let's get into the first topic. Okay, so the first things I'm going to talk about is the person that's going to be in charge and all that for the movie. So I'm hoping for this is, I really hope we will release the director of this movie, or like in charge of it. Miyamoto is a great person. I think he's doing okay for movies at that. He's an amazing artist. But there are some things that I feel like he just would not fit. And Kirby's one of them, because Kirby is a unique type of series where it's simple but not at the same time. I'm pretty sure you fellow Kirby fans know what I'm meaning. But what I think would be best for Kirby series, if they had a director in that, which they probably will, I don't know why I said that, but if they're going to have a director, there are two possible options for this. And that would be, of course, Masahiro Sakurai. And, hold on, let me just find out what the other guy is. Shinowa Komizawa. I can't pronounce his name very well because, one, I don't really speak Japanese. But this guy is the producer of the Kirby series and has been for a long time now, ever since Sakurai has left HAL 11. If these two were in charge of the Kirby movie, I would be so happy and I would not be worried. Because they know the Kirby series well and that they know what they would be doing. And I think they would do a good job. I mean, Sakurai did have a hand in the Kirby animation. I don't see why he wouldn't be perfect. But if they had another option, I would say the new director for the Kirby games. But that is pretty much it for who would be, making the decisions on the movie and that. But now, let's get into the next thing. Okay, now I will talk about who I feel like would be the right choice to, make the movie. So, I already said who I'd like to direct it because of reasons. But, I didn't say who I would like to make the animation studio, because there's no way this is going to be a live action. I feel like would be a perfect fit. Okay, so far from what we know that Nintendo is going for the companies that are making movies are Illumination with the Mario movies, maybe Donkey Kong Star Fox. Then there's Sony with the Zelda movie, and I'm pretty sure Universal themselves are going to make something. But who do I think is perfect for the Kirby movie franchise? Well, actually, I got the perfect candidate. Out of all of them, which, by the way, they are owned by Universal, from what I found out, DreamWorks is probably the best bet for Kirby. And here's why. First off, it comes to storytelling. Although, Illumination, they've made some good stories like Despicable Me, and honestly, I think Migration was a pretty good one, but I wouldn't say they're the type of company that would work for me. Now, people that don't know Kirby, let me just say this. Kirby, often not, their stories are simple, but not into the frank of super simple. They usually take a simple, like, archetype or, like, theme, but they twist it in a bunch of ways and add a little more to it. From the lore, from the main story at home, Kirby generally just goes a little more than just something. And I think DreamWorks will work perfect with that. They've made amazing stories before, like, do I even need to say the movies? They've shown their talents. Second reason is animation. Although animation is very well made, and Sony in that, honestly, Sony could work too, but I just feel like DreamWorks would have a better idea on how to make Kirby movies. Don't know. But the reason why I do not feel okay with Illumination is, yes, they have a very cartoony vibe and very good graphics-wise. I mean, we've all seen the Mario movies. Heck, Despicable Me has some good ones. Their other movies have good graphics. But I just feel like they're kind of simple in really good graphics standards. Not saying like the graphics are bad or anything, like they're super simple. It's just they don't give me the vibe of what I feel like a Kirby movie would give. And that is something dreamy. When you play a Kirby game, it always feels like you're playing like you're literally in a dreamland. Or, you know, just, it feels magical in some ways. I'm pretty sure some fans know what I'm talking about. But when I watched Illumination, even with the Mario movies and their other ones, I don't really feel any magical. Now Sony, I sometimes feel that, but not all the time. Now, DreamWorks, on the other hand, I feel that so much. I'm pretty sure other people do. I feel like DreamWorks knows how to make a movie feel magical, dreamy, and all that. I mean, what DreamWorks is literally in the name. Second reason why I've said this, but I think they would just be perfect for Kirby, animation-wise, storytelling-wise, and not only that, just the feeling they give. Plus, their unique art styles, which Sony does too, but I feel like DreamWorks would have a better idea of how to do a Kirby movie. I just don't know. I just feel like DreamWorks would be the perfect one, especially with funny name convenience, but to me, I just feel like DreamWorks would be perfect. Now, I wouldn't say DreamWorks if it wasn't for the fact that Nintendo's sticking with Universal Studios. If it wasn't for that, I would have said Pixar for Kirby, because we all know they can make magic movies. I mean, Toy Story, all that. But for what we have right now with like Universal properties, I feel like DreamWorks is the best bet. Not only that, I feel like DreamWorks knows how to do adaptations so well. I mean, we've seen a lot of them do adaptations, and they've done really good with them. Even with the ones that don't really stick by the actual book, they are still good movies. So I don't see why they wouldn't, would not work. So this is why I feel like DreamWorks is the perfect candidate. They have enough seriousness, they have enough, magical power in their movies, and that, I just think they are the perfect fit. But yeah, now for the next topic. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is how I think the Kirby movie, will go like. Now, there's so many ways they could do a Kirby movie that I can't really think of what all they could do, but I have two ideas. First off is the most probably logical and most obvious reason. Well, obvious option. The retelling of the first game, just with simple twists and, just adding things and doing cool things. Where Didi is the main villain, and, the whole gist. But I have another idea. I did hear this from someone else, I can't remember the YouTuber, but whoever came up with this idea, it was a really good idea. But it would be really cool if Dark Matter was in this movie. One of the most pretty much famous Kirby villains there is, and Dark Matter would work so well. Because, to me, I feel like Dark Matter is the perfect idea to have in a Kirby movie. Because one, they show the dark side of the Kirby series, and they give a lot of lore, but not only that, if you're making, the Kirby movie non-canon, or canon, depends on how they go. I don't know if it will be canon or not. I think Dark Matter just works, because, one, we all know why Dark Matter works. I don't know if they will put in the Instance of Void, or they will put in 02 or 0 also, but I think Dark Matter itself should be in there somehow. They could do it off of a cool twist villain to surprise people, to show people, yeah, you think Kirby is just childlike? No, I love it. People get surprised about how dark Kirby can get. But I feel like this is just the perfect villain for it. Because Dark Matter, I feel like should deserve a little bit more love. But it does get a lot of love. I just feel like it'd be nice to see Dark Matter again. But for what the story is, I have no clue. These are the only two I can think of. If anyone else has any ideas, please drop a comment on that. I'd love to hear your ideas. Anyways, that's my thoughts on what the story could be and all of that. Anyways, let's go to the last thing I'm going to talk about. This will be probably the shortest. Okay, so for the last thing I want to talk about is something I thought of how I feel like Kirby could be on the big screen or on television. in central whatever word I'm looking for. But what I feel like the Kirby series would work the best with is I feel like it just fit better as a TV series than mainly a movie. Because with how many abilities there are in that, like how with the anime, it gave, us a lot of abilities each episode, and each episode had its own thing. But if they were going to make a new TV show, I think it'd be cool if it was like on one story, but different stories happen in each episode, but it actually gets to the final thing, and when the final thing happens, I feel like that would just be a perfect way to do the Kirby series in a, movie and short show format. But that's just my idea on that. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Tornado Talks, and I hope you all are doing well. Have an amazing year. God bless you all. See you all later.